humbly stand before you. Good morning, everybody, and happy Halloween, or as I like to say, happy Halloweeny. We're so excited to be with you at Unity Columbine Spiritual Center, and we're even more excited to have this enchanted singer-songwriter with us today, Rebecca Abraxas. Woo! Ow!
In my house with nowhere to be, in my heart wondering how to set the world free, seeing paint out my window and on my screen. I'm in a fishbowl watching it all and wishing my heart was 10 feet tall. Can love really make it all okay? It's the inside that makes the outside. Change I want to see, I know it's all up to me. It all comes down to me. It all comes down to me. Am I a victim to all the insanity? Am I just a martyr to my news feed? I'm paralyzed by what comes over me. Now I could laugh and I could scream. The dark is always there, but so is the light. My point of view guides me through the night. It's the inside that makes the outside. Change I want to see, I'm gonna be the change I want to see. I know it's all up to me. It all comes down to me. It all comes down to me. There is a light happening here. It will take away the fear. Each one of us can expand the light. It's up to us to shine it bright. It's the inside that makes the outside. It's the inside that makes the outside. I'm gonna be the change I want to see. I'm gonna be the change I want to see. I know it's all up to me. It all comes down 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 to me.
Let's hear it for Rebecca Abraxas. Woo! We're going to have more from her later, but now we say good morning and welcome to Columbine Spiritual Center. We're centered in God. We celebrate a world of harmony, peace, abundance, and costumes. You should see everybody in this sanctuary right now. We want to stand up, jump up, take a look around, and look at your neighbors. And if you're at home, please join us as we sing about the magic of surrender. One last time. 3, 4. It's the magic of surrender. Hi, thank you so much. We just want to keep with that theme of magic. You're going to recognize this one right away. Come take my hand. You should know me. I've always been in your mind. You know I will be kind. I'll be guiding you. Building your dream has to start now. There's no other road to take. You won't make a mistake. I'll be guiding you. Have to believe you are magic. Nothing can stand in your way. Have to believe we are magic. Don't let your aim ever stray. And if all your hopes survive, destiny will arrive. Bring all your dreams alive for you. Bring all your dreams alive for you. From where I stand, you are home free. Planets align so rare. There's promise in the air, and I'm guiding you through every turn. I'll be near you. Come anytime you call. I'll catch you when you fall. I'll be guiding you. Have to believe we are magic. Nothing can stand in our way. Have to believe we are magic. Don't let your aim ever stray. And if all your hopes survive, destiny will arrive. And bring all your dreams alive for you. And bring all your dreams alive for you. One more time. And bring all your dreams alive for you. Yay, thank you so much. You may be seated. Let's take a breath. Gonna shake off our Olivia Newton-John. I think that was Gene Kelly in that movie, right, Xanadu? Now we're gonna prepare our hearts and minds and spirits for a little prayer and meditation. Love, joy, and peace, patience, kindness, and generosity, faithfulness.
And so I invite you to take a breath with me this morning. And as we settle into this room, to recognize that we also have the opportunity to bring all those that are watching online, not only into this space with us, but into our hearts. The gifts that Spirit bring, no matter what's going on in your life right now, when we make ourselves present. And when I say make ourselves present, I really mean attune with the presence that we are. To slow our minds, to allow ourselves to settle into the moment. Then the gift that we need in this moment has the opportunity to arise as guidance, as clarity, as strength, power, love, compassion, whatever's needed will gently, but always, arise. And so we allow ourselves to settle into this moment, to just simply be. And from this place of being, then, I always like to invite you to bring in your own personal prayer list. We also include prayer requests that are in our prayer box in our front lobby, and all the prayer requests that are published every Tuesday in our prayer request email. We just bring them into this presence. This is where the activity and the power of Spirit is. It requires so little on our part, and yet is always there to support, to guide, to be who and what we are. And so with this gentle reminder now, we move into a time of silence together, allowing that presence to even intensify as us. We'll sit together for a while, and then the music team will gently bring us out in song. But until then, we rest in the silence.
This may take some forgiving. Don't let them take your power away. No, we can change the world with just one love and thought. We can light each other's way with the love we've got. We've just got to stand up, stand tall. We just got to rise up and hear the call. We can change the world. When it all seems lost, keep loving, keep giving, keep getting up when you're down. Do the right thing when no one's around. Oh, we could change the world with just one love and thought. We can light each other's way with the love we've got. We've just got to stand up, stand tall. We just got to rise up and hear the call. We can change the world. When that day comes for my soul to be freed, I wanna know that I put love and peace into destiny. We can change the world with just one love and thought. We can light each other's way with the love we've got. We've just got to stand up, stand tall. We just got to rise up and hear the call. We can change the world. We can change the world. We can change the world. We can change the world with just one love and thought. We can light each other's way with the love we've got.
Good morning. Am I
Good
on?
morning, Rachel.
Good morning. I'm trying.
Is she on?
Am I on yet? There I am. Hi. How's it going?
Hi.
Do you recognize me? I'm my sister from California.
I did not, but I still, you like her twins.
So we have a surprise for you today, and so I'm up here to introduce it because it's a surrender story for me. So I have a podcast called Recover Your Soul that I started about a year and a half ago. And before I left for California, I was sitting at my desk on Thursday and looking at Coot Blackson's Facebook profile. And I saw the messenger button. And I thought, why not? So I sent him a message that said we were studying his book here at Columbine and that I had this podcast and would he be interested in being a guest? I went on and did my work. And later on I thought, oh, Rachel, so sweet. Who do you think you are, right? And then as I was preparing the next day to get ready, I got a message from him and he said yes, that he would be on the podcast. And then, so I got back from my trip and we were on the podcast, and one of the first things that we were talking about was that as a congregation we were studying the book and we were loving it, and he said, let me know if I can talk to Columbine. And I said, yes. So we're very excited for this.
It was so fun because Rachel came into the staff meeting to tell us, and even before she said he had said yes, I thought, wow, wouldn't it be cool if we could get Coot Blackson to talk for one of the talks, to hear his perspective. And you're going to love this video. You know, he told us that his dad is a very successful minister, starting over 300 churches. Well, Coot picked up the
gift.
The gift. Mm-hmm. He's a real preacher, let's put it that way, and it's really fun. But also, Coot does a beautiful job in this video of really talking to us about the depth that surrender can bring us to. Another thing I just wanted to tell you was we always pay a guest speaker, but he wouldn't take the honorarium. And I think this speaks to his commitment to this subject. He said, I would rather that you buy $200 worth of the books and make them available to people in your congregation who couldn't have afforded it, because I think this is a very important subject. And so with that, sit back and enjoy.
Good morning, Unity of Columbine. It's so great to be here this beautiful morning. It's so great to connect with you. I wish I could be there in person, but since we're not just these bodies, beyond time and space, just know that my spirit is there with you, celebrating life, celebrating existence this beautiful morning. It is such an honor and a privilege to have the opportunity to spend a few minutes with you, even though it's virtual, that we get to connect. We get to be together. We get to celebrate together. I'm honored, I'm privileged, I'm excited. When I was a young boy, I grew up reading a lot of unity work, a unity philosophy, and I would sneak into my father's church. My father, you could say, was very New Thought based. I'd sneak into my father's church in the middle of the night, and in the darkness, as a 10, 11-year-old kid, I would speak and give seminars, give sermons to the empty chairs, imagining souls around the world, amazing human beings such as yourself being inspired, even though there was no one there. And so whenever I have the opportunity to inspire, to share, to connect in some way, it takes me back to that moment. And I feel so privileged and excited that we get to share this time together. You know, whenever we gather as a collective group, whenever we gather with a conscious intentionality on loving, on expanding, on evolving, I really believe that it creates a field, it creates a vortex of energy that is transformative. Just like it said that when a butterfly flaps its wings on one side of the planet, it literally rearranges the molecular structure and affects the other side of the planet. By you gathering here today as a community with an intention on expanding and loving and transcending and elevating and vibrating higher, you are not just impacting yourselves, but your communities. You are literally opening that possibility of magnificence, that possibility of greatness, that possibility of aliveness for every single human being on the planet. You are shifting the fabric of consciousness for everyone alive. And so I acknowledge you for who you are. I acknowledge you for the work that you're doing. I acknowledge you for everything in your life that you have overcome to be able to sit here and be alive in this particular moment in time. And even though we're going through some intense times right now, we're going through some intense moments, old systems collapsing, old economic models, old political systems, old paradigms, old relationship models, old ways of doing things falling apart. I really believe that as a humanity, it's easy to look at the world and think we're going through a crisis on planet Earth. But in Chinese, the word crisis also means opportunity. Then in the midst of this crisis, as old systems fall apart, there is something more than before that is seeking to be birthed, something more than before that is seeking to express, something more than before that in this emergency on planet Earth that is seeking to emerge for you and I to see. And so we're living in very exciting times, I really believe. We've had the technological revolution. We've had the industrial revolution But I really feel as though right now you and I are in the midst of the greatest spiritual revolution and awakening the planet has ever seen. It's no accident that your soul has incarnated at this unique time in human history to participate in the global awakening of consciousness of humanity. To participate in this awakening is no accident. We can no longer sit on the sidelines, my friends, and sleep in a Coca-Cola. It's time for us to wake up. It's time for us to step up. The universe, the world, even through the events of the last 18 months, this pandemic, the universe, life is calling each of us to transform, each of us to transcend, each of us to awaken, each of us to step more fully into the light and the greatness and the magnificence of what we are and share our gifts with the world. More than ever, the time is now. And all the challenges that are happening on this planet, all the difficulties, the challenges, I believe are simply invitations for each of us to step up and shine our light even more brightly. Life is inviting us forward. And so to truly step into that next level, I believe that there comes a moment in our lives where the life that you have created is in fact too small for what your soul is seeking to become. No matter how great the life, the next level of your life requires the next level of you. And the next level of you requires that you release and you let go of the old version of yourself. Who you were, who you thought you were, what you thought you were. And that, my friends, requires a profound level of surrender. The challenge is, many times out of fear, out of safety, out of comfort, out of familiarity, out of self-preservation of our own identity, we hold on to who we were. We hold on to the old. We hold on to the known. We hold on to what was safe. Holding on to that which is no longer working, holding on to that which is no longer vibrational match, whether it's a job, whether it's a situation, whether it's a friendship, whether it's a relationship, whatever it is, simply keeps us stuck in the old and is our affirmation of our lack of trust in the universe. We can pray all we want, we can meditate all we want, but if we're holding on to that which is no longer a vibrational match, we're just affirming and reinforcing the old. You cannot manifest the next level of your life being an old version of yourself. You cannot manifest the next level of your greatness holding on to what's not working. And so as you move into this new era, as we move into this new year, 2022, what is it that you need to let go of? What is it that is no longer a vibrational match? What is it that you need to release? What is it that is no longer aligned? What is it that is needed to be surrendered? In 2016, my mother was diagnosed with stomach cancer. It hit me hard, folks. It hit me hard. I was traveling the world promoting my new book. At the time, You Are the One. I started to fly back and forth from Los Angeles to London every month to be with my mother through her chemo sessions. I got to spend a year with my mother during this time. It was perhaps the most magnificent, deep, transformational, intense, painful, and amazing year of my entire life. It puts things into perspective when you're face to face with death. It reminds you of what's really important. And during this year, I never saw my mother complain. During this year, I never saw her cry. During this year, I never saw her feel like a victim. It was challenging. I remember when the doctors finally said to my mother, said to us in the hospital, basically, get your affairs in order, you're going to die. They say it in a loving way. I looked at my mother and I said to her, are you afraid? And she looked at me and she said, I'm not afraid. I know I'm not simply this body, that what I am is a soul that is beyond birth and beyond death. This body is just a vehicle. And she looked at me with such a serenity and a peace. And then I looked at her and I said, Mom, you're about to die. We don't know how long. What can I do for you as your son? What do you need? What do you want in your remaining days? It's a challenging moment in my life. because I realized nothing I do, no amount of prayer, meditation, green juice, was going to keep her alive. This was her path. And she looked me in the eyes and she said, son, there's nothing I need, there's nothing I want. She said, all that I want at this stage is what God wants for my life. That moment hit me so hard. That moment hit me so profoundly. That moment hit me so deeply that I realized the key to her freedom, the key to her peace, the key to her serenity. And when I reflected on her life, the key to her entire life was she was in complete surrender. She was in total acceptance and surrender to life. And I saw that this was the key to her freedom. When I reflected on her life, when I reflected on many of the people I admired through my life, Jesus, Buddha, Gandhi, Mother Teresa, Mandela, Martin Luther King, Muhammad Ali, Bruce Lee, they all reached a particular moment where they had to let go. They had to find the courage to let go and surrender. Surrender themselves to life, surrender themselves to their souls, surrender themselves to being lived by that which is living everything. And that's when they tapped into infinite possibilities and potential. And that is the moment that they transcended themselves, went beyond them, their own sense of personal power to being lived by life, and tapped into an infinite potential that was beyond their own personal power. And that, to me, is true greatness, not greatness that is to an individual, to a personal sense of self, to an ego, to an identity. In that moment of true surrender, you begin to realize that you are not the doer. The ego wants to constantly be doing. It wants to be doing the one. I did the miracle. I do the healing. And so it can be very humbling and scary for the ego to surrender, which is why surrender can be such a thing that we resist, you see. We resist it primarily because the ego, our sense of self that we identify as me, my, this body, this identity, is afraid of surrender, because to surrender is a letting go. To surrender is a release. To surrender, resistance and control is one of the ways, control being a master addiction, one of the ways that the ego, our sense of self, reinforces its false sense of identity. Surrender is a seeming death to the ego. But I believe it's the most powerful thing we can do. Many times we say, surrender is so hard, surrender is so hard. But I actually say that surrender is the process of life. Surrender is the nature of life. And in fact, surrender is really the easiest thing. How easy is it, folks? Think of it. We have to reframe surrender from being so difficult. How difficult is it to let go? It's the easiest thing. We've just been conditioned through our childhood and programming and defense mechanisms to hold on so tightly to life, hold on so tightly to avoid pain, to get love, to function, to survive, that we've become so used to holding on, which is the opposite of surrender, so used to controlling and holding on, that the holding on has become natural and more natural and what we think we are. But surrender is easy. Surrender is the nature of things. In fact, surrender is hardwired into your physiology. Every moment of life, the divine is reminding you. Every moment of life, the divine is reminding you, surrender, surrender, surrender. Every breath, inhale, inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale. You can't just inhale, inhale, inhale. Exhale, surrender, wired. Every breath is a surrender. We're all in a process of surrender. Whether we are aware of it or not, whether we are spiritual or not, we are all in a process of surrender. Life is the process of surrender. There's so much we can't control. Life is a process of surrender. Our body ages, we get older, hair falls out, hair turns white, the body does different things. And this is surrender. We have to surrender. It's not about if we're going to surrender, it's about how we will participate in that process that is surrender. So are you surrendering? Or are you resisting? In surrender, you realize that you are really not the doer. It's life that is doing. and function in all. You know, even Jesus said, Jesus who realized his true Christ nature, even Jesus said, when it came to miracles, he said, it's not I that does the work. This was his key. It's not I that does the work. It's the Father that does the work through me. He realized it wasn't him. He realized it wasn't him. The ego wants to believe it's me. I do it, my life, my goals, my dream, my vision, and we end up getting ourselves in the way, don't we? When I asked my father's a miracle worker, built 300 churches in Ghana, West Africa, hundreds of thousands of followers. My first memories as a young boy was seeing this amazing man walking, my father. I was lost in the crowd of thousands of people. This crippled woman picks up the sand that my father walks on, wipes it on her face, and stands up. I grew up seeing him look at a woman in a wheelchair, hadn't walked in 10 years, and he would say, stand up. And she would say, but I haven't walked in 10 years. Stand up, do you believe? But I haven't walked in 10 years. And she would stand up. I grew up seeing every weekend miracles and miracles and miracles that seemed normal to me. When I was in my 20s, I finally asked my father, how do you perform these miracles? What happens? What's the secret? You know, what technique do you use? Is it Reiki? Is it pranic healing? Is it, what's the healing modality of the chakras? And he looked at me and he said, very, very simply and humbly, I don't do the healing. It has nothing to do with me. I said, what do you do? He said, I don't do. I just get myself out of the way. Life does the rest. I thought this was very profound. What would happen if we lived that way? What would happen if we lived in a way where we dare to surrender and get ourselves, limited selves, out of the way so that life could flow? To me, this is the zone of magic. This is the zone of miracles. This is the zone of infinite potentiality. This is the invitation. What would it be like to live in that state of surrender as a way of being? Not when we have no other option, when we've tried everything, right? I've tried everything, finally have to surrender. Why wait to the last resort? Why not start with surrender and live that all the way through? What's possible? Are you surrendering? Are you living that surrender? What's in the way? What's the resistance? What's the fear? In so many ways, how can we not trust life? Well, how do I trust life? You might be thinking, how can we not trust life? There's an innate intelligence inside of you. If you cut your finger, think about it, amazing friends. If you cut your finger right now, you don't have to pray. You don't have to affirm. You don't have to meditate. You don't have to do yoga. You don't have to do anything. You could be a drug dealer. You could be a homeless. You could be a bad person. There's an innate intelligence inside of your body that knows exactly what to do in spite of you, without you. This innate intelligence is the healing presence. It knows what to do. How can we not trust life every day? Every day the sun shines. Have you ever woken up in a moment of your life and it's 11, 12 a.m., unless you're in Scandinavia, right? And it was pitch black outside, but the sun just forgot to come out today. No, every day the sun shines. Every day the moon rises. Every day the sun, the sky and the clouds and the oxygen in CO2, the transformational process happening. This morning, perhaps you had some breakfast, drank some juice, ate something last night. You ate a banana. You ate a salmon. You ate a piece of fish. You ate a salad. How is it that your hand doesn't turn into a banana? How is it that your eyeball doesn't turn into a piece of bread? There's an intelligence inside of you that knows what to do. There are trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions of processes inside of you right now that are happening and interacting for you to even be able to be here and move your hand and have and listen to this conversation. We sometimes forget that, don't we? And then we don't trust. When in fact, inside of you, every moment of life is living proof of its trustability. But let's trust deeply. This intelligence of life that has been around for billions and billions and billions of years. In fact, in so many ways, we have been conditioned to trust. Siri, hello Siri. How you doing, Siri? We trust Siri more than we trust life. Isn't it crazy, folks? We don't say, Siri, turn left. Are you sure, Siri? Maybe that's a mistake, Siri. Siri says turn left, we turn left. Siri says turn right, we turn right. Siri says go, drive over there. We don't even think. We follow Siri blindly. We got more trust in Siri than the universe. Your soul sometimes says, launch that business, write that book. And we start questioning, can I? Is it possible? Am I qualified? What will happen? What will work? Maybe it won't work. We start second guessing ourselves. There is a power inside of you, the same power that is functioning all of existence, all of life for billions and billions and billions of years. It knows what to do. It knows how to do it. The key, though, is surrender. The key, the password to freedom, the password to your next level, the password to greatness, surrender. I just want to clarify. Let me hear everyone in the congregation, everyone in the audience. Let me hear you say, universe. Folks, come on now. I'm listening. Universe. Universe. I surrender. I surrender everything that is not in alignment with my highest good. Everything that is not in alignment with my highest good. Universe, I surrender everyone that is not in alignment with my highest good. Everyone. Universe, I surrender. Surrender is the password to freedom. There's a misconception in our culture today that if you surrender, you're weak. If you surrender, it's passive. If you surrender, you'll be a doormat. You'll be taken advantage of. If you surrender, you won't manifest your goals, dreams, and desires. I'm actually saying if you surrender, what if you got so much more love, more joy, more than you could ever plan with your ego mind? More. Because life is not, when you surrender, life is not limited. Universe is not limited to your past. Universe is no longer limited to your programming, to your conditioning, to your mind, to your history, to your parents. When you surrender, you step outside of yourself. That is where the magic happens. To surrender is to let go of control. To surrender is to let go of the control that we think we have, that we really don't have, but we have the illusion that we have. As we're seeing last year, we don't have as much control as we thought. To surrender is to stop trying to force life to fit into our small little idea of how we think it should be. Take the limits off of life. To surrender is to let go of the idea of who we think we should be and the life we think we should have so that we can open to the life that is seeking to happen. Surrender is a new paradigm, moving from an ego-based way of living, which is all about what do I want, right? This is an old way of creating, folks, an old way of manifesting. What do I want? There might be moments where you manifest what you thought you wanted, only to realize that what you thought you wanted was not what you really wanted. It was just what you thought you wanted based on who you thought you were. Are you with me? A little tongue twister there. Many times, even our goals that we project in our affirmations are projections of our unmet needs from childhood. Dad wasn't there, we will believe we feel not enough. So we think if I can achieve that thing, if I can get that thing, if I can manifest that thing, then I'm going to finally be okay. Nothing outside of us will fulfill what we're seeking internally. So the old paradigm is asking the question, what do I want? I, limited I, ego based on the past, identity. Well, the real key to surrender is this question. Here's the question I want you to marinate on, folks. The question becomes, what is it that life wants to express through me? What is it that the universe wants to express through me? What is it that the divine wants to create through me and live through me? And feeling the deepest impulse of what is seeking to happen. Surrendering to the deepest truth of your heart, surrendering to the deepest truth of your soul, surrendering to this deep intelligence, allowing that to move through you, then aligning your goals, your intentions, your affirmations, your money, your resource, your actions, your strategy with the authentic impulse of your soul. Now you are living in alignment and in flow. And the universe supports that intention, because that intention is not just your intention, it's the universe's intention expressing through you, because your goals, dreams, and desires no longer belong to you, they belong to life. They belong to life. Surrender. What is it that life wants to express through me, and living in alignment with that taps you in to the magic, taps you in to greatness. Many times when things don't go according to plan or work out how we think, we get disappointed, we get frustrated, we lose faith. Don't lose faith, folks, because in the moment when, in your dark moments, when it looks like things aren't working out, the ego isn't always, the mind is not always able to see the entire picture. In the moments when things don't go according to plan and we don't get what we thought we wanted, we're not able to understand it in the moment, but just trust that life is always working out for your highest good, even though it may not make sense right now. There's a bigger unfolding intelligence that is working. And so here's the key to surrender. Another key. Don't simply make a meaning about what you think that moment means, because the meaning that you make up about that moment will often be limited to your current level of consciousness based on your conditioning. The ego can't see the whole picture. Instead of assigning a meaning, step back and get curious. Curiosity is key. Are you being curious, folks? Get curious. What could this mean? What could, it didn't work out. What could this mean? What more amazing thing does life have up its sleeve? What more incredible thing could be happening? How is the universe working for my good right now? Folks, how many things that you thought you wanted, you were really sure you wanted, like that relationship from 5, 10, 20 years ago, you were sure you wanted, you couldn't imagine living without that person, but today you look back and you think to yourself, thank God that didn't happen. Thank God that didn't work out. See, grace. Sometimes not getting what you thought you wanted is grace. And how many things that didn't work out according to plan? When you look back now, unfolded and worked out better than you actually thought, better than you actually imagined, beyond, folks, beyond. Surrender is the password to freedom, friends. What is it that you get to surrender in your life? What is it that you get to let go in your life? When you let go, you clear the space. When you clear the space, life, the universe, the divine, that's an invitation to life for your next level, can fill that with new energy, new frequency, new vibration, new manifestation. Manifestation isn't just about making things happen. It's about clearing away the old to make space for the new. Martin Luther King could have remained the local preacher and stayed in the safe zone. The world would be a different place. Mandela could have not stepped forward in faith, maybe not gone to prison, stayed in the safe zone. The world would be a different place. Mother Teresa could have waited until everything had aligned. She had enough money until she started helping people and stayed in the safe zone. The world would have been a different place. But they all decided to surrender themselves to being used by life. So finally, I just want to say, here is what I invite you to ask, to affirm and pray. Universe, use me. Use me for the highest good. Let the highest good unfold through me, in me, and as me. And when you invoke the highest good, you are now playing an infinite game. Because sometimes what we think we want is not what we want. But your soul knows. The invocation of the highest good. Use me for the highest good. Let the highest good be made manifest in this situation. Let the highest good be made manifest in this relationship. Let the highest good be made manifest. Now you are in the zone of surrender, and watch and get ready for magic to happen. And if you want magic, you must surrender. Amazing, friends. Unity of Columbine. I could keep going, but I'm sending you love, a quick shout, a big hug. Look forward to connecting with you again on your path. Reach out anytime. Send me a message. I would love to hear from you. I can't wait to meet you all in person soon. Big hugs, everyone. Thank you so much for also participating in using the magic of surrender as a study guide. Just know how honored I am. I dreamed about experiences like that when I was a 13, 14-year-old kid. So thank you. Thank you. Bless you. See you soon.
You think we can tell Coot that we're sending him a virtual standing ovation? We could do a little video of that. So we're going to welcome back Rebecca Abraxas. We just love Rebecca. You can't tell who she is under her costume, but you can sure hear her voice. And all this music that she's singing for you today are brand new for her. So we think she's going to be in the studio soon, and this one's great. Awesome. Yeah.
There's a time when we walk into each other's lives and we share the light until we hear spirit say, I'm guiding you on another way, walk away. Rose-colored glasses have gotten unclear, but when I shed my fear, the energy finds me and I start to clearly see. Walk away, walk away, walk away, walk away into the light, into the sunshine, into the light, going into the sunshine, into the light. Walk away. Too strong, I'm being pulled along. Walk away, walk away, walk away, walk away into the light, into the sunshine, into the light, going into the sunshine, into the light. Walk away. I've got to follow the light. Walk away, yeah. Walk away, yeah. Into the sunshine, into the light, going into the sunshine, into the light. Walk away. Sun shines on my doorstep. Walk away, walk away, walk away, walk away into the light, going into the sunshine, into the light, going into the sunshine, into the light, going into the sunshine. Walk away, walk away.
Rebecca Abraxas, Dan Steelman, Larry Thompson. We welcome back Sherry Bailey today for our Spirit and Song team.
Wow, on this Trunk or Treat Day, what a treat we have had. What a treat with Rebecca here and Coot speaking, and Rachel, thank you for pushing that button.
Ow!
Clicking that link. Yeah, what a great day. So So this is the time where we give back, where we gratefully receive your love offerings, your tithes, and so grateful for every dollar that comes our way so we can keep doing this work that we're doing. So if you're watching at home, we have many ways you can give. If you're in the sanctuary, we have many ways you can give, and that through our website, through giving by text, 720-902-9998. So let's say our offertory blessing together. God's love has always met and will always meet all my needs. I give freely, I receive abundantly, and I am grateful. Okay, thank you, God. Another treat, we have some kids in costume that want to come on up, you guys, and while we're sharing some community news, you can come on up and walk up and sit up right up here. And we haven't done this in a while, so they're a little tentative. Just have a seat. Wow. Awesome. So we're going to let them check all of you out, and you can check them out while we go through a little bit of community news. Last night we had our Beans, Bevs, and Bids, and what an amazing event we had here last night. And we just want to thank everyone who was involved. Julia organized the whole thing, the board, the staff, all the volunteers, everyone who participated. Thank you, thank you, thank you. How many of you were here last night? A lot of hands up, and probably some at home, but what a great time. We had so much fun. Yeah, after margaritas. We grossed $45,000, so yeah, wow. Thank you so much for your generosity and your giving, and what a great community we have. What's next? Trunk or treat is going to be right outside after the service, so we have some trunks out there. They have some treats for you, and we invite everybody that's here in the sanctuary, everyone that's home, if you want to come on out. We have hot cider, we have treats, we have trunks decorated, and we have lots of people in costume that want to connect with you. So come on out and be outside. Join us. Our fellowship will be out in the parking lot by our decorated trunks. So head on out there right after the service. And then Sister Carmen is a family resource center in East Boulder, and we are collecting food for them to help fill their food bank shelves. There are lists available for you in our Sunday bulletin, in our email update, and we would love to see that blue bin at our front door filled up before they pick up that bin on November 9th. So help us, help them, and feed those that are in need that could use some help. What else? Strategic planning. So just want to give you a quick update on what's been going on. Yesterday, the board had a board retreat on Zoom with our consultant, John Wimberly. It went really well. We brought out some ideas on vision and how the board sees Columbine's next 3 to 5 years. The next step is we have a planning team that was selected by the board, by Scott and I, and they are going to be meeting on Wednesday evening. And they will be actually coming up with a purpose statement based on the board's work from yesterday. And I just want to tell you who these people are, who these folks are on our team. It's going to be led by Johnny Dario, and on the team is Melanie Piazza, Stephanie Bennett, Julia Hoyland, David Chasen, Brooke Lindquist, Lisa Tusignet, Steve Wurzel, Kelly and Keen Ray, Aaron Livingston, and Ann Moriarty. So these people, yeah, we're so grateful for all of them who said yes. Actually, everyone I asked said yes. So we're grateful for all of them who said yes, because they're going to be really holding it together for us as we move forward and look at how do we want Columbine to be? How do we want to show up in our community, in our world, in the next 3 to 5 years? So they're going to be holding that vision and doing the work, and so we're so grateful for all of them. And then after they meet, I just want all of you to know, you at home as well, that you will have an opportunity for input in many different areas. You will have an opportunity for input on our purpose statement, on our strategic plan, on our goals. There will be opportunities for your input. Okay, who's our prayer chaplain today? Do we have a prayer chaplain today?
It's magic.
It's Beth Overstreet, and Beth will be sitting in the side of the sanctuary with a chair in front of her, and if you have anything that's coming up for you that you would like prayer support or prayer celebration, whatever it is for you, just let Beth pray with you. Is that it? Yeah. And Jeannie, come on up here. Jeannie is our Youth and Family Ministry Director.
So these guys all dressed up because they're not excited at all, okay? Yeah, and thank you guys so much, everyone that did the trunk or treat. It's just so fun for everyone. It brings the kid out in all of us. And I'm going to let you, this is Annabelle.
Hi. So here's all of our costumes, and we really wanted to show you guys. So, yeah, and we're really excited for the trunk or treat. So.
And we made you a sign.
And we made you guys a sign because we were so happy.
Awesome. Thank you, Unity. So after, we're just going to stay here, and then if parents can come and pick up your child, there are coats downstairs, and I think some of you have your trick-or-treat buckets. So, and then we'll all meet out at the trunk-or-treat. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Hey, let's do our Unity blessing for our kids. Do we have a screen for that, or are we going to have to do it by memory? Okay, let's see how many of us remember this blessing. We love you. We bless you. We appreciate you. And we see the Christ you are. Amen. Thank you. Okay.
And now let's all stand up and sing the peace song together. Every single cool-looking one of you. Surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Woo!